Do you have chronic diarrhea? Has your doctor done an endoscopy, colonoscopy, put you on meds like Imodium or some other medication, but your problem still isn't resolved? Today, you'll learn about diarrhea, loose stools, what's causing them, and how to resolve them. I'm Carrie Bailey, your functional nutritionist. I work with people with anxiety, depression, and other weird mystery symptoms, and I help them heal. Welcome to this growing community of people who are ready to heal their anxiety and depression for good. Let's jump in and talk about what diarrhea is. Diarrhea is your body's way of getting rid of something toxic that it wants to get out of the system. Diarrhea is a symptom of something bigger going on, and that's what we need to figure out. Here are the indicators of diarrhea or loose stool. Going more than 3 times a day. So things are moving really fast. Consistency, if you're familiar with the Bristol stool chart, it's the last 3, it's 5, 6, or 7. This could be anything from soft serve ice cream to something very watery. You might have urgency, more urgency than a normal bowel movement, where it's going to come out really fast. There's a much shorter urge to poop window. So you need to make sure you're close to a toilet. There might be cramping or other abdominal discomfort. So what's causing this diarrhea and loose stool? I would say 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some kind of infection, some kind of pathogen that's going on in your gut. This could be anything from dysbiosis to unproductive bacteria, molds, fungi, streptococcus, E. coli, all the way to a parasite. This pathogen infection will inflame the digestive tract and irritate it so that it doesn't want to keep anything in there, so it's going to move too fast. It's going to try to move things out. So there is one parasite that's very troublesome, and it's called Entamoeba histolytica. And I'm familiar with it because one of my teachers, Dan Kalish, had this. He got it, he acquired it in Thailand. Doesn't mean you get it from Thailand, but you can get it from any other tropical region. This is going to cause what's called amoebic dysentery, but it can get into the body and become a long-term low-grade infection and might take a long time to identify. Now, if you've gone to Mexico or another third world country, you might have experienced Montezuma's revenge or traveler's diarrhea, which can definitely happen as well. And generally, you'll take your Imodium after a few days and it'll go away. But did it really go away, or did the symptoms just subside? So it could still be in there. And so you definitely want to take that in consideration. So that's why on the intake form, I always ask about travel. Where have you traveled to? So that way I can line up the dates and see if for some reason there could be a parasitic infection. So now, even though the parasite or pathogen is actually the trigger, it can cause other problems that you might experience, like food intolerances. It's common for people to think that they have loose stool because they have lactose intolerant, and they might be lactose intolerant, and they might still be eating some dairy or not, but it can still cause problems, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the food. It might actually be the pathogen, and the food is just driving it. These pathogens can also cause damage to the digestive tract, again, causing scarring and blockages and things like that, so that things want to move out fast. Diarrhea can also happen when you've been put on prescription medications. Things like antibiotics are famous for this. So you'll hear someone might be hospitalized and they got put on antibiotics, and then suddenly they've been identified to have a Clostridium difficile infection, and that definitely happens. And again, because the antibiotic is throwing the balance off of the bacteria in the gut and causing further problems. So that Clostridium difficile, or C. diff, infection needs to be dealt with at that point. Now, you can have a Clostridia difficile infection that becomes sort of a low-grade chronic problem in the system, but in certain situations, it can actually become a bigger issue, a life-threatening issue. So it definitely needs to be addressed. Now, these pathogens can also cause inflammation in the colon. That's called colitis. And again, if the intestines are inflamed or the colon is inflamed, your body's going to want to excrete the stool out of there much faster, and that's going to lead to the diarrhea. And many of us know that feeling when we're super stressed or super anxious, and it feels like everything speeds up down there. So definitely some kind of diarrhea or loose stool can happen from that. That could be a triggering event, or if your stress is just a chronic stress, you're going to have that constant diarrhea. So remember, stress shuts down the digestive system. It fires up the fight, flight, or freeze response. And so therefore, anything that's in the system, it might just get rid of really quickly so that it can take the blood, take the everything from the inside of your body to the outside of your body, and so you can run from the lion or whatever the threat is. So people ask me all the time, where did I get these pathogens? How could I have acquired this thing? And it's amazing. It can be from anywhere. You don't have to travel to a third world country to acquire some kind of pathogen. You can get it from eating at a restaurant or drinking water. In your own house, you could get it. You can get it from intimate partners, from kissing. You can get it from kissing your pets. If they have some kind of pathogen, you probably have heard that you can change your cat's litter box and be infected with something. So it's really easy to get these things. And it's important, again, to wash your hands always, anytime you're in contact with things. But if you're at a restaurant, you don't necessarily have access to what they've been exposed to. So if the waiter or the chef cut their finger and it's in your food, the bacteria gets in your food, there's nothing you can do about it. It's in your body. Then it comes down to the importance of your body being strong and your immune system being strong so that you can fight it. So that way, if you are exposed to something, it's not gonna come in the system and make you sick. So ideally, your immune system is going to be really strong. It's going to fight it. It's going to go after it. But in times when you're stressed or if you have nutrient deficiencies, then you might not have the robust immune system you need to fight things off. There's also a barrier system in your body, which is amazing, which again goes back to stomach acid. So if some bacteria is able to get into your system, if you have strong, robust stomach acid, the stomach acid will kill that bacteria and it won't make it through the rest of your digestive tract. All right, let's talk about some of the remedies. What can you do about this diarrhea and loose stool on your own? Well, first of all, you're going to want to remove wheat, dairy, corn, soy, industrial seed oils like canola oil, vegetable oil. You're also going to want to remove any refined sugar. So that's table sugar or any sugar on the added ingredient. Not healthy sugar like maple syrup and honey, but refined sugar. You're also going to want to remove out excess fat and excess meat because your digestive system is compromised, which means there's a really good chance that you have low digestive enzymes. So any kind of meat and things like that in there is not going to help the system. So we need to pull things out to let the system heal. So the things I like to add in are fiber-rich, nutrient-rich fruits and vegetables. My favorite food to help with diarrhea and loose stools is potatoes. Potatoes are amazing for loose stools and frequent poops. They are high in lysine, which is an amino acid that helps the body fight inflammation and pathogens. Have you been avoiding potatoes because they're a high oxalate food or a high in lectins or a nightshade? Pop a comment below. I'd love to open up that conversation and I'd like to address that concern for you. The third solution for diarrhea is L-glutamine. I love L-glutamine. L-glutamine will reduce your symptoms because it helps reabsorb sodium and water that's been lost. L-glutamine is the most abundant amino acid in the body, and it actually is a building blocks to help you make other amino acids. L-glutamine helps heal the digestive system that's been damaged by pathogens, and it helps mop up ammonia. Ammonia is something that the pathogens create. Too much ammonia in the system, you might experience as brain fog. So the glutamine is going to mop all that up for you. Now, the only contraindication I have for L-glutamine is if you are low in B6 and zinc. And in that case, unfortunately, glutamine can go and cause you to make more glutamate instead of GABA. And glutamate I talked about in this video here. Another solution I love for diarrhea are herbal teas. Herbal teas are really easy to access. You can drink them throughout the day. You can drink them hot, you can drink them cold. Fresh ginger, grated and steeped in water, is a great solution for diarrhea. You can also juice ginger, and you can also add ginger with one of my other favorite herbal teas, which is hibiscus tea. Hibiscus is really awesome at reducing inflammation and fighting off infections. And it's quite delicious, especially with a little bit of honey. Another remedy for diarrhea is coconut water. And the coconut water is like nature's electrolyte. It helps you rebalance the sodium water that you've lost through diarrhea. So coconut water is really great. If these remedies don't work, you might want to consider scheduling a discovery call with me so that we can run an organic acids or a stool test so we can figure out what's really going on. What's at the root cause of your diarrhea. If you're enjoying this video, click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on mental health solutions using diet, lifestyle, and other cool things. If you're ready for more support, check out the Anxiety and Depression Recovery Guide in the description below. There you're going to find tips, tricks, and information to help you on the journey to healing anxiety and depression for good. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.